Welcome to Subramani. I have been asked this question many times, especially by youngsters who are 21, 22, as to how should we start investing? Should we start investing in direct equity, or should we start investing in index funds? Should we start investing in mutual funds? What is an ETF, right? So these kids are brimming with a lot of questions and are always wanting to know where to invest and how to start. So the most exciting way to start for most people would be to invest through a direct equity and say, oh, how can you live your life without a telephone? So we should have Bharti or Jio. How can this country go ahead without great infrastructure? So we should have Indigo, right? These are the reasons why they would go and pick, or something like they go to Google and search which are the best shares to buy, and in Indian context it always shows up Asian Paints, HDFC Bank and Reliance and things like that, so they end up buying that. Now this is not the way to buy. At 21, 22, the first question I would want to know is, how involved do you think you want to be in the process? Because both have their pros and cons. The advantage of direct equity investing is you learn to understand, you read, you find out about the company, and then you invest. So you have some understanding or involvement with that. Whereas with a mutual fund, that the amount of involvement is less. Of course, there are websites like Morningstar where you can go and see about the fund, read about the fund, which anyway I would suggest you do, whether you invest or you don't invest. You see what are the criteria they use. Then you also can go to something like Value Research, which has got perhaps less content in terms of about each fund. But yes, you can go check out what is the rating system, how it works, why you should not use the rating system for choosing funds, right? You will learn all those things. So investing in learning is far more important than in investing in buying shares or buying funds. There is enough data to be analyzed, and there is enough thing for you to worry about. When we were young, or when I was 22, 23, 25, there was nothing called a mutual fund. So investing only meant equity, because you had to either buy a house, which is impossible for a 23-year-old who has just started earning, or you have to invest in equity. So we were all forced into going into equity. But today I would suggest that if you have a job which involves long hours, it involves a lot of meetings, etc., you're much better off with a mutual fund, because it does not involve a day-to-day activity, right? You need not buy a share at 469 and then your broker is desperately calling you because the price has moved to 489 and he finds that you are sitting nicely in the meeting. Or even worse, you're not even going through a broker, you're going through you're a DIY, and you have invested in the morning and evening, the price spikes and you don't know. Next day when you watch, you see that the price moved from 469 to 489 and back to 471, which means you missed a trading opportunity. So first, another decision is, are you a trader or are you an investor, right? First question is to answer that. And you don't have to answer these questions to me, you have to answer these questions to yourself over a long period of time. Yes, you could be a delivery based trader, or you could be a day trader, or you could be an investor. Please make your choice. Don't go by what people say. It requires tremendous amount of brain power and agility to be a trader. Easy for people like me to be an investor, right? Investing is easier, trading is difficult, therefore more people lose money in trading and very few people lose money in investing, right? So be careful about whatever you want to be. You have to anyway invest in learning. The other opportunity which will come up for you, maybe you're 24, 25, just graduate out of IIT and taken a job for 2 years, and somebody will come and make you an offer to work in a small startup. That's a great way to start. If you are going to work in a startup, I would suggest that all your money be in debt funds or bank fixed deposits, initially at least to start with, till you start getting your money regularly and all that. And if you are a partner, there's a very good chance that you will not be able to take any money out of it, right? If you are a director or a partner in the business, then all the money of which belongs to you should be in debt funds, liquid funds, forms of debt funds being liquid funds and ultra short funds or bank deposits. And you should have a line of credit from your dad saying, Dad, in case I'm so badly off that I don't have money to eat, I may stretch my arm and you may have to give me some money. Just create that line, right? So where are you investing? When you're 21, 22, you're still studying, maybe 24, you've started investing. You're investing your time with your friend in his friend's business, right, which is a startup, or you're creating your own startup. That is where your big investment is going. Or you invest in education. You decide that you will go abroad and do your MBA, or you'll go abroad and do your MTech. Either you get better in your tech or you better get it as a generalist, right? So you're investing there. I would still suggest, if you're not doing any of these things at 24, 25, I would still suggest a small amount of money go into an index fund or a managed fund or whatever, and one equity share every year. You heard me right, one equity share every year. So you will do research as to which field you want to be in the sense of where you want to invest. Is it infrastructure? Is it telecom? Is it FMCG? Find out. So you will read about all that, and based on all that, you will buy one stock per year. Right, max 2 stocks per year, definitely not more than 2, because to buy 2 stocks you will research at least 20 stocks, right? So a small amount going into a regular fund or an ETF. So there's a lot of choice and lot of choosing to be done and lot of choices to be made. So should you be in a ETF, a regular mutual fund? Should be in a passive one? Should you be in an aggressive one? You need to sit, study, read, understand, and then implement, and then look for an advisor. Perfectly all right looking for an advisor, but look for an involved advisor who will sit with you, talk, explain, and do all that, which a bank relationship manager cannot, because at your level of 5,000 rupee SIP, the relationship manager's time is not worth it. In fact, you may not even be assigned a relationship manager unless your salary is very high, right? So find a good advisor, make sure that your term insurance is in place, your medical insurance is in place, the material of whether your company is giving it, take it for a small amount of money, make sure that your parents' medical insurance is in place, make sure that your parents' investment documents are in place. So you're investing your time maybe with your friend, you're investing your time with your parents during the weekend, trying to clean up things and keep it properly organized, right? You can't really tell your dad, I want to know what you're going to do with your money after you die, but you can tell him, Dad, can I help you organize your stuff, right? So you're investing your time, effort, money in that relationship. You will invest your time and effort in knowing which fund to invest, reading, etc. Similarly, you will read about companies, and then you take a decision whether you want to be an actively involved investor, or you will find a good advisor who will take most of the action based on your saying yes or no, because the administrative portion of investing is still boring and difficult and painful. I would hate doing it myself. I prefer getting it done by an IFA. There's an advantage of going through an IFA. Or you do directly whatever you want. Find out what level you want to help your friend as an employee or as a friend. You want to invest with them, anything. Do all your experiments between 24 to 30. In the meanwhile, if you're already doing an SIP, that's great. At 31, 32, you can sit and pay more attention as to where this money should go. Child has been born, whether you want to have a child or no. All those decisions have been taken. You have a kid. You now have to prepare for your longer term thing of your own retirement, your kids' future, education, marriage, whatever, forcing you to think in terms of 20, 25, 30 years. So, right, so you suddenly start becoming a long-term investor. Even if you're a short-term trader, you still need to have long-term investment for all your other needs. So based on all this, you take a decision. I hope I have confused you enough. There's no going to be one answer saying, oh, put money in an ETF. No, I had no intentions of saying that, and this is the answer. But I hope that out of this video, your thought process will evolve. You will sit and talk with your friends, and based on all that, you will decide what kind of an investor you want to be. That's what. Thank you.